Carpets might feel nice when you're walking around on them, but when it comes to stains, holy cannoli, they have a problem letting go of stains. I mean, we all have problems letting go of things, sometimes people in our lives, objects, but carpets happen to have an issue with stains. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 of the most common carpet stains, and I'm going to show you how to tackle them. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the Clean My Space channel and give this video a thumbs up if you have a carpet stain that you need to get rid of. Just a few quick pointers before we get into the stain removal portion of this video. A little bit of education about carpets here. First of all, there are different kinds of carpets, different materials and different weaves. So find out what kind of carpet you have before you actually start cleaning it. That way you can take any special cleaning instructions into consideration. Any stain solution, you always want to check in an inconspicuous, hidden area first. If you have a big stain in the middle of your room, you don't want to use something that might potentially damage the carpet as well. So go find a little corner and test it over there. Other things to keep in mind when you're removing stains on a carpet: don't use too much product. It is so hard to extract liquid and goopy stuff from carpets, so you want to make sure that you're using as little as possible. And finally, don't scrub or rub if you have stains in the carpet. You'll see the movements that I'm doing are all going to be patting and blotting motions. You always want to suck out as much from the carpet as you can instead of spreading it in and ruining the other fibers. When it comes to stains on the carpet, it's always a race against the clock, because as soon as that stain sets, even more so than clothing, it's in there. We've had a stain in our carpet. We inherited it when we got this house. Guys, I have not been able to get rid of this stain for 7 years. It is in there. So make sure as soon as you see a stain, you deal with it immediately, and you might not be able to get rid of it if you leave it for too long. And finally, if you're really stuck on a stain, you can always bring in a carpet cleaning professional. They have equipment and products that you don't have access to, but believe me, they can get rid of a lot of things. Just not that stain I have in my carpet. You guys know that I have 2 cats, and to be perfectly honest, while they are lovely, they've both had their share of animal accidents that have made me pretty frustrated. I'm choosing my F word there. What I've learned over the years is blotting is so important. So I get a wad of paper towels, and I'm like a machine. I'm just pressing down, lifting up, getting a new piece of paper towel, pressing down, lifting up, new piece of paper towel. The idea here is that you want to press down and suck up as much of that urine as possible. And don't use the same piece of paper towel each time. Go for a fresh one. And that way you're going to pull as much of the urine out of the carpet as you can, and that's exactly what you want to do. You don't want to leave anything behind. Now just mix up a solution of equal parts white vinegar and water. Put that in a spray bottle and mist it over the area. Then start pressing up again with clean paper towels and just keep going. You want to repeat this several times so that you really lift out as much as you can and get rid of that odor. Let's say the stain has set. You didn't see it, but you certainly smelled it a few days later. What you can do is the process that I've already explained with spraying the vinegar and water solution and pressing up as much of the liquid as you can. And then once you've done that a bunch of times, you can sprinkle baking soda over the area, which is a great natural odor absorber, and let that dry. You want to leave it for about 24 hours. And that's going to do its work in terms of getting rid of the odors. And you might see some yellowy stuff come up too. Now you can scrape it up first, and then you can vacuum it all up, and that should take care of the stain. Next up, coffee stains. You're sitting there just minding your own business, reading the paper, drinking a coffee, and the next thing you know, splat, it lands on the carpet, and you've got a cleanup job. Well, the first thing to do, obviously, is to blot like a mad person. Get out your paper towel or your schmutta towels that you don't care so much about, and just blot up as much coffee as you can from the carpet. Remember, remove as much liquid as possible. It gives you way less to work with. You'll need a few things to accomplish this cleaning. It's going to take a few attempts, but it will work. Get yourself a bottle of 3% hydrogen peroxide. That's the brown bottle. You want a clean spray bottle, and you're going to pour out hydrogen peroxide into that spray bottle. Next, you're going to get a bunch of towels, and they have to be white. So whether they're bar towels, old rags, or just cut up old towels that you don't use anymore, that will suffice. Anything that's colored, you run the risk of dye transfer, and you don't want that. Next up, you need a steam iron. Make sure that it's nice and full so that you have a lot of steam, and a bowl of water. The first thing you're going to do is spray hydrogen peroxide over your coffee stain. Next, you'll take a towel, dunk it in the water, wring it out, and lay it on top of the stained area and the hydrogen peroxide. Now you'll take your steam iron on full steam, and you're just gonna put it down on that towel right over the stain and let it do its thing for about 15 to 20 seconds. Now, once that time is up, lift it up, remove the towel, get excited, you're gonna see the stain, and then the next thing you wanna do is either get a fresh towel or you wanna find a clean part of the towel that you've already used and do it again. And you might have to do this 15 or 20 times, but the stain will come up and your carpet will look amazing. Let me just share a couple of warnings with you. First of all, make sure that you test hydrogen peroxide on your carpet before you attempt this. Hydrogen peroxide can bleach certain surfaces, so you want to make sure it's not going to bleach your carpet. And second of all, make sure that the heat setting on your iron is appropriate for the task that you're doing. You guys know your iron. You know what's going to burn something, and you know what's going to be okay. So make sure that you use the appropriate setting before you get going with this trick. There's no way about talking about blood stains without it sounding awkward. Either something really terrible has happened on your carpet, or it's like a totally embarrassing bodily thing that's going on. Anyway, no one wants a blood stain on their carpet, and thankfully there's a quick solution to get rid of it. But keep in mind, because this one has a little bit of soap in it, you don't want to go over the top. You need to be really careful with how much product you use. Blood dries really fast, so it's important that you blot up as much as you can as quickly as you can. So get some paper towel and start blotting up the blood stain very quickly. Once you've blotted up the blood, you're going to be left with a stain, and that's what we're going to tackle. So in a small container, mix up 2 parts hydrogen peroxide to 1 part dish soap. So depending on the size of the stain, you can use 2 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide to 1 tablespoon dish soap, or you can lever it up or down, whatever you need. And then you're going to gently stir that up and start applying it to the stain. And then you'll just let it sit there for a couple of minutes. The hydrogen peroxide is going to need some time to do its work. And then take a clean cloth and start to blot up the stain. Again, we're not rubbing, we're just pressing hard, blotting up and repeating. Once the stain is gone, and you'll be impressed, it will come up. You need to use water to flush the area clean to remove any of that soapy residue, or else you're going to get a little stain ghost, which is all of the soapy stuff once it's dried. So take some clean, cold water and a clean cloth and gently apply it to the surface and start lifting up soap. And what that will do is help bring any of the soap to the surface. You're going to continue to blot it up and let it air dry once there are no more suds. One of the saddest carpet stains you can get is a wine stain. Not only because you have a lot of cleaning ahead of you, but because you've wasted red wine. And that is a true shame. But there's an easy way to clean it up, and it does not involve white wine, which is something that some people say, and to me, even if it did work, that's crazy, because I am gonna have all the white wine, thank you very much. So here's what you do. Once that stain hits the carpet, don't panic, grab the paper towel and start blotting. Get as much moisture out and then repeat. Once that's done, you're going to get some club soda, just a fresh can or a fresh bottle. You want it to be nice and bubbly. Pour it over the stain. The bubbles are going to help break the stain away from the carpet fibers, and leave it for 5 minutes. Then come back and repeat the blotting. Now, if the whole stain's not gone, you can repeat this several times and just keep pouring, blotting, and the stain will come out. Gum isn't technically a carpet stain, but tell that to someone with gum in their carpet and they will give you another opinion. If you have gum on your carpet, for whatever reason, I'm not naming names here, you want to get rid of it. And there's a pretty simple thing that you can do. Get an ice pack. That's right, get some ice, put it in a Ziploc bag, or if you have an old school ice pack, that'll work too. Put it on top of the gum and let the gum freeze. You might need to leave it for 15 minutes, you might need to leave it for an hour and change out the ice pack, whatever you have to do. The gum can't just be cold, it has to be frozen. Once it's frozen, you can use your fingers or a dull metal object like a butter knife or even the edge of a credit card and just start to pick up that frozen gum. It'll sort of chip off, it'll come up in your hands and you can toss it. You might be left with a little stain behind, but that's something that you can easily clean with that hydrogen peroxide dish soap solution that I just told you about for blood. Stains are definitely a pain, but the good news is there are solutions and they do work. The idea here is you gotta treat them fast and you gotta treat them with the right products and the right techniques. Stuff I always say anyway. I hope you found this video helpful. And this week's comment question is, what is the most difficult stain that you've come across? Whether it's on your carpet, on your upholstery, or on your clothing, somewhere else? Let me know in the comments down below. There are a couple of other videos that you can check out over here, and of course you can visit our website, it's cleanmyspace.com, and I've got a link right over there. There's a button down there that lets me know you care, so click it if you liked this video, and click this button right here to subscribe and begin your journey to a cleaner life. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.